Terminal List is the #1 show on Prime Video, and the critics hate it, but the viewers love it. Hey guys, my name's Jason Wesley, and this is not a podcast. The Terminal List, now streaming on Prime Video, starring Chris Pratt, who plays a Navy SEAL whose entire platoon of Navy SEALs is ambushed during a high-stakes covert mission. His character's name is James Reese, and Reese returns home to his family with conflicting memories of the event and questions about his culpability. However, as new evidence comes to light, Reese discovers dark forces working within him, endangering not only his life, but the lives of those he loves. Now, according to Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 43% score from critics and a 94% score from the audience. Apparently, these critics are about as out of touch as Maxine Waters telling homeless people to go home.
I want everybody to go home. And I want
we don't got no home. That's why we here.
Rebecca Onion with Slate wrote, Chris Pratt's new show is a right-wing fantasy, but that's not the worst part. There are reasons to cross this line, but the Terminal Lists aren't good. Chicago Sun-Times writer Richard Roper wrote, say that 3 times fast, The Terminal List. Military thrillers' emotional demands prove too much for Chris Pratt. Gifted comic actor is miscast as a hardcore killing machine in predictable Prime Video series. Cut more to a decade later, and Hollywood has tried repeatedly to turn Pratt into a legitimate action star, from the Indiana Jones-like Navy veteran and Raptor whisperer Owen Grady in the Jurassic World films, to Peter Quill, Star-Lord in the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, to the former Green Beret Sergeant Dan Forrester in the Tomorrow War. And now with the 8-part Prime Video military thriller series, The Terminal List, which stars Pratt as a SEAL commander out for revenge after a covert mission goes tragically wrong. I'm not buying it. Nobody cares if you're buying it, Richard. I don't think you saw the same show that everyone else did. Also, you're saying that Hollywood is trying to turn Chris Pratt into a legitimate action star? He is a legitimate action star. You're saying that he's not in control of his own career? That Hollywood is trying to make him something. Also, this numbnuts clearly didn't know that the writer Jack Carr said that when he wrote The Terminal List that he had Chris Pratt in mind as James Reese, long before Chris ever even knew the book existed.
And so what's crazy is that as I'm writing this, now they tell you not to think of someone playing your character as you're writing, but as a child of the 80s, that's almost impossible not to do. So as I'm writing, the crazy part is, like, usually you think of like Mark Wahlberg, or you think of somebody that had done these sort of things kind of before, but I thought of Chris Pratt, and he had just done, all he'd done is Parks and Rec, and he had a small role in Zero Dark 30 where he plays a SEAL. He has like a couple lines in there. And for some reason, I'm like, that's the guy.
Really?
That's him. I had no connection to him. And no, it wouldn't have been the obvious choice back then. So I start writing in December of 2014, I think, or early 2015, somewhere there. So
he wasn't this giant movie star back then either.
Hadn't done any of that stuff yet. And I thought, you know what, this is a likable guy. And he seems like an awesome dude. I'm getting a good feeling from him.
I've even spoken with Jack Carr about this personally. We took this picture just after we had this conversation. You know, I love and hate living in this time of massive division spearheaded by the mainstream media and corrupt politicians. It's like whoever screams the loudest or points the finger the most gets the most attention, which means views or votes. Why does it even have to be left wing or right wing? Can't you just say that it's a great novel and an amazing TV show? But now that I'm pointing out what the leftists are doing, they'll soon write articles saying conservatives pounce on the opportunity to attack media pundits. Because that's what they do. If you notice the media doing something, they don't do any introspection to find out, is there any validity to what they're saying? No, they're going to get mad at you for noticing. It's like a dude that cheats on his girl, and his girl walks in and catches him, and he's mad at her. What are you doing home early? I thought that you said, who told you to just show up at my house? Anyway, Jack Carr, the writer of the novel The Terminal List, tweeted, "We did not make The Terminal List for film critics. We made it for those in the arena. Enjoy the ride." Why do we even put up the critic score anyway? Nobody even cares about what the critics have to say, because anytime anyone looks for a movie or TV show that they want to go see and they look at Rotten Tomatoes, they look at the critics and they look at the audience score, and they always go with the audience score, which is one of the reasons why a lot of these awards shows have had such low viewerships. It's because it's like the affirmative action Oscar. It's the affirmative action Emmy. What we care about are the people that paid money to actually watch the show, not people who are paid money to watch and write reviews. That's why I love economics, because you can tell what's important to someone by where they spend their money and where they spend their time. Jack Carr was on Tucker Carlson talking about this, and here's a little bit of that exchange.
Terminal List is based, of course, on a best-selling book by Jack Carr. He's one of the executive producers. He's a former Navy SEAL, one of the best-selling novelists in America, one of the good guys. Jack Carr, thanks so much for coming on. So it must please, first of all, congratulations on the book, the many books, this show, but it must please you in a way. Not all viewers hate it, or not all critics hate it, but viewers like it much more than critics. How do you feel about that?
Oh, it falls right in line with everything that I understand about the current culture and climate in America right now. And it seems to have triggered quite a few of these critics. And I have a couple examples here. Daily Beast titled their review, "The Terminal List is an unhinged right-wing revenge fantasy," which is odd because right, left, conservative, liberal are not even mentioned in the show. But I think it may be because the protagonist is competent with weapons and tactics. He's strong. He holds those in power accountable. And that can be unsettling for some, particularly some maybe senior members of the military who have failed upwards over the last 20 years. They go on to write, "There is some serious danger to the Terminal List pandering to red state viewers with routine references to beer, guns, country music, and hunting." The Daily Beast does not like those things. It does not sound like it is much fun over there, but the 95% viewer rating, audience rating, makes it all worth it. We didn't make it for the critics. We made it for those in the arena. We made it for the soldier, sailor, airman, and marine that went downrange to Iraq and Afghanistan so they could sit on the couch and say, hey, these guys put in the work. They put in the effort to make something special and make a show that speaks to them. And that 95% rating lets me know that we at least got close. And then one more line here. It's from TV Line. It says, "The fugitive meets SEAL team meets a Don't Tread on Me truck decal. We're served up huge helpings of red meat masculinity and lots of American flags." They don't like American flags over there. Game Rant even cites Revolutionary War era Don't Tread on Me flags as a negative. So it's odd that both Game Rants and TV Line had to go back to the 1700s to take the side of the British in their reviews. I found that quite telling. But someone wrote a horrible review of one of my latest novel, In the Blood, and they said something along the lines of, what do you even call a book like this? And you call it a #1 New York Times best-selling novel, and someone wrote the same thing about this show, and you call that the #1 series on Prime Video. And I do want to thank Amazon because they took a lot of risks with this show, and they took those risks with us, and so my hat is off to them, and I'm sincerely humbled and grateful.
And here's a little snippet of the season finale starring ya boy.
You need to get out there.
FBI's on the grounds, man. We should hold fast.
We're not waiting. Go. Go!
Yes, ma'am. We got this.
And before anyone starts saying, stolen valor, this is my actual uniform, the one that was issued to me, as you can see, Wesley.
Will you